Chidima, and I'm the operation support personnel for Wave. And this webinar is brought to us by Wave Software Incorporated. And I was trying to explain briefly what we do at Wave. I was saying that Wave is a software company, and what we do basically at Wave is we create innovative solutions to help businesses in the hospitality industry. And by hospitality industry, I mean restaurants, hotels, caterers, food vendors. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So food vendors, any food business you can think of, as long as you cook and you sell out to people. So those are the people we cater to. We what we do at Wave is we create applications, ordering platforms that would help these businesses to scale their businesses, that would help them to, become more effective in their operations, become more productive, and manage everything that needs to be managed to get them more productivity. Okay. All right. So today's lecture, like you all know, we've titled it strategically. We've titled it the title is effective marketing tools for your businesses. Right. So we're going to be talking about how to strategically position your businesses for for great sales, for productivity. Yeah, it's effective restaurant marketing strategy. Yeah, that's the title of today's topic. So yeah, so at the end of this webinar, it's expected that everybody would be equipped with the right tools. You would know what to do to get more sales. You would know what to do to position your businesses properly, to position your businesses for the market, for your target audience. Yeah. So without wasting much time, let's invite our speaker for today. His name is Mr. Shay King, and he's a marketing expert and a marketing lead for Wave Software Incorporated. Shay, welcome on board.
Thank you very much, Chidima, for that beautiful introduction.
Yeah.
Let me especially welcome our guest, Favor. I can see someone just dropped. That's fine. So don't worry if you're having issues. We are still going to share this webinar to all our guests. So welcome, Favor. Welcome, Delapo. Welcome everybody to this very insightful webinar. The first thing I'd like to know is, can you all see my screen? Please let me know. You can do a hi, you know, at the chat section, or you can just let me know. Great. All right, great. Okay, so just like Chidma said, today we'll be discussing about effective marketing strategy. Um, the truth is that there are no shortage of strategy. Every day restaurant owner comes up with different strategies they can use to run their business. But at the end of the day, not all strategy will lead to success. So understanding marketing strategy, which is the backbone, will give you a lot of leverage when you start promoting your restaurant. So in today's lesson, we are going to look at some certain key areas. I'm going to show you how you can develop a marketing strategy. A lot of restaurant owners tend to work without strategy. So most of what they just do is cut and dump. So they see this idea, they push it. They see this idea, push it. There's not really strategy guiding them. At the end of the day, you see that um, you're not getting the results you intend to get. Also, we're going to look at how you can create social media campaign. I'm going to show you the right strategy. Then also we explore some very interesting social media campaign ideas. Next, I'll introduce you to SEO, local SEO. I'll show you how you can rank your restaurant business online and send cheap traffic. I won't even call it cheap traffic. I'll call it free traffic. So instead of going about paying, running expensive online ad, if you have the knowledge of SEO and local SEO, you can really run free traffic to your restaurant. Then lastly, I will show you how you can enable mobile ordering to drive sales using restaurant management software. Now, what is actually happening? You say that the pandemic coupled with rising inflation is threatening a lot of restaurants today. To survive, restaurant owners will need to find creative marketing solutions to survive in this environment and to adapt to customer plight. So I think you will agree with me, frankly, that restaurant owners today are going through a lot of challenge. Challenge with pandemic, scared a lot of people. People are still scared of going out. They are scared of, you know, touching one another. And the restaurant business is a business that involves a lot of contact. Because you have to sit together with people, you have to, get your orders from the table. So a lot of people are scared. Then if you now combine it with inflation, you see that it is a real nightmare for restaurant owners. So we have Favor here. Favor, I don't know if you can unmute yourself. So I'd like to know, do you run a restaurant or do you intend running one? So that will lead me to my next question. So if you don't mind, you can just unmute yourself and let's hear from you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Can you
Good
hear me?
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I do run a restaurant. I'm just a marketing strategist
Oh,
in
sorry. I don't know if you can,
digital
maybe
marketing.
it's my end, but I can barely hear you.
Okay, yeah, can you hear me well?
Yes, just better.
Okay, better. I don't run a restaurant, but I'm just trying to go into digital marketing. So I'm trying to learn from here.
Oh, okay, okay. You don't run a restaurant, but you're trying to go into digital marketing.
Yeah.
So, okay, you want to learn some strategies. Oh, good. Yeah, that's not bad. So eventually you could learn strategies that you could, help to improve a restaurant. So, for example, if you've learned some of the strategies, you can use it with some clients, some restaurant clients, and help them with growth. So, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. All right, so that's fine. But what I wanted to just pass out is that restaurant owners are facing a lot of challenge this period, a lot of challenge, and they really need to come up with some very very clever strategy to grow their business. So I will try my best to distill this information as much as I can so that you can understand it and you can apply it to your business. Next, we'll look at. I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide you can use to develop a marketing strategy. So we're going to look at it in details, and I'm going to explain to you how you can go about the process. The first thing you need to know is your target audience. Who are you marketing to? Then you need to run a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Next, you need to identify what differentiates your restaurant from the competition. Next, we'll look at how you can define your restaurant brand identity. We'll look at understanding KPIs, that's key performance indicator. Then we'll look at how you can decide on the best tools you can use, digital marketing tools for your restaurant. Then next, we'll look at creating the plan, then finally setting the budget. So let's get started right away. The first thing here is no, sorry, it's a mistake. The first thing here is know your target audience. This is the first principle in marketing. If you miss this, you've missed everything about your entire strategy. So the first principle when it comes to creating a marketing strategy is to know your target audience. I'm sorry. Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to make this call, at least with every 5 minutes, just to make sure that you know nobody has lost me. Okay, great, great. I'll continue. So, like I said, this is the first principle when it comes to developing a strategy. Know your target audience is the first law as well as the principle. Like I said, the first step in creating a restaurant marketing plan is make sure you know who you are marketing to. A buyer persona is a profile that uses data based on the marketing research to paint a picture of your ideal customer. So in marketing, there's something they call a buyer persona. The buyer persona is your ideal customer. So you need to sit down and craft that ideal customer. If, for example, you have a restaurant, probably on the island, Lagos Island, for example, so you need to sit down and say, "Oh, I need to know who my ideal customer are. One, are they young, mobile trendy? Are they probably midlife? 14 above? Are they aged? So you need to define that. You need to know their behavior. Do they like hanging around the restaurant? Do they like making online orders? You need to study it. You need to know their aspiration. What are their aspiration? What do they want to be like? What motivates them? So you begin to build this persona, gradually, and you can begin to, have this ideal customer. You know, when you have done this, then you can say, "Oh yes, this is my customer," and I can then apply the strategy I have developed to this customer. So it's very important, and I would implore you to take time, in knowing your target audience. A very big mistake I see restaurants make is um, choosing a very very broad audience. So in marketing, every customer is no customer. You cannot be you cannot be a brand for all customer. There's something they call differentiation. If you are yet to differentiate your brand, your restaurant brand, you'll find it very difficult passing a message to this audience. Because for every segmentation you have of the market, there's a particular message, that principle, or the first law when it comes to developing a marketing strategy. And I said it is important that you develop your buyer personnel, which is your ideal customer. Then I also said that marketing to everybody is marketing to nobody. This is because each segmentation of the market, have their own distinct message that needs to be passed to them. So a lot of brands make this mistake, in a bid to try to show up revenue, to drive profits. They tend to spread their brand very thin and trying to market to everybody. This is a serious mistake. At the end of the day, they lose a lot of brand equity, and they are not able to pass the right message to their ideal customer. And at the end of the day, the brand suffers, the business suffers. So like I said, know your target audience, develop buyer persona for um, your restaurant brand. The next item we look at is we look at a tactic known as SWOT analysis. You might have come across SWOT analysis if you have done some form of marketing or some kind of business strategy. So SWOT strategy is a very important strategy that you must use, when you're trying to when you try to start a business, or you're trying to reevaluate your business. So, like I said there, SWOT is a tactic used is used in a wide array of industry to help evaluate a company in details, with a very critical eye. When conducting your SWOT analysis, your goal is to walk away, with the following. So SWOT, stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. It has been used, for years, decade of years, by business owners to redefine a strategy. So, as a restaurant owner, or a prospective restaurant owner, you must conduct what we call SWOT analysis. So, sit down with yourself if you are a sole proprietor, or sit down with your team, and begin to map this out. What are your strengths, as a restaurant owner? Do you have a good brand? Do you have enough capital? Do you have a technical know-how? So you need to know this. If you've mapped out your strengths, the next thing you need to do is to map out your weakness. What are your weaknesses? Do you have the right staff? Do you have the right? Do you have labor? And do you have the material? Are you close to the source of material? And you need to look at this and know your weakness. As a brand, are you sure you can meet up with the demand? Do you have the managerial capacity to meet up with the demand? So sit down, be truthful with yourself, and itemize your weakness, as a brand. The next thing you want to do is to look at the opportunity. What are the opportunity currently present that will enable me to further develop my strengths, or to reduce some of my weaknesses. So, for example, if you're a restaurant owner, an opportunity may be that you're close to market. So with that you can buy goods at a very cheap price, than your competitor. Probably your competitor stay very far from the market and would have to spend extra transport costs, or probably your competitor is buying it, in the market, where it's expensive. So that could be an opportunity for your restaurant business. Or an opportunity could be, um, you understand you understand digital tools that you can use. Now, you say a lot of restaurant owners or businesses, do not are not digital savvy. So if you are digital savvy, that will come in as an opportunity, even when you have some inherent weakness as a brand. So with that, you can really leverage it to grow a very successful restaurant business. Next, we have what we call threats. So threats are things that can really put you out of business. Those are threats, yeah, and you should take it very, very seriously. So sit down with yourself, and scan your immediate environment, both your micro and your macro environments, and begin to itemize different threats. Threats can come from different areas. You can get threat from the government, you know, directly or indirectly. You know, your threats could be your environment. So look at your environment. You know, critically and begin to look for threats. Threats could even come internally. Maybe you have very poorly trained staff, or thieving staffs. So you need to look at it. You know, then if you understand your threats, you will know how you can reduce the impact of the threat, by using some of the strengths that you have. So carrying out SWOT analysis for your restaurant business is very, very important. With By understanding and knowing it, you can use your strengths, to clamp down on your threats. You can use the opportunities you have as a business, to improve your weakness. You can use some of your opportunities to further enhance the strength you have. So you need to look at this critically and begin to. That is what we call the SWOT analysis. So you need to carry it out for your restaurant business, or any other business you're trying to do. Next, we'll look at differentiation. What exactly do we mean by differentiation? So basically, this is your value proposition. What differentiates you from the competitor? That is what differentiation is. To identify your key differentiator, you need to gather your team, then start brainstorming, with the following question. One, why do guests choose you over other restaurants that offer similar menu? So that's a question you need to ask yourself. So what exactly it is that makes your guests choose your restaurant than your competitor? Two, you need to ask yourself, what exactly is your specialty? What is your strong area? Where are you good in? In the restaurant world, it could be your award-winning chili, or the way you arrange your restaurant, the beautification. You need to ask yourself, is there something all your positive customers feedback shares in common? So you need to sit down and look at all these things, in the larger sense of things, and know what exactly differentiates you as a brand. Next, we're going to look at brand identity. What exactly do we mean by brand identity? Brand identity is simply the way your customers, perceive you, based on imageries that you develop for your brand. Think of your brand identity as the personality of your restaurant. So, how do you want your customers to see you? Now, the brand identity for a brand such as KFC is different from the brand identity of a brand such as Domino's. They have two different, distinct, and separate brand identity. You know, and this is intentional, by the management, of the company. Now, developing a brand identity actually does not involve you spending a lot of money. You could be a really small brand, but yet you are able to craft a very strong identity for your restaurant brand. I don't know. When developing your brand identity, keep in mind that, sorry, just when developing your brand identity, keep in mind that customers crave authenticity. Instead of creating a restaurant around your brand identity, make a list of reasons you opened your restaurant and why you are passionate about your business model. Let that be the definition of what you stand for. So what I'm just trying to say here is you need to be you need to be authentic. Let your customers see the real you. You know, let them know this is what your brand stands for. So do not make it too rigid. Let the personality of that brand show. So this is what we are talking when we say brand identity. So brand identity is a very simple strategy, and developing it for your brand, either big or small, will go a long way in helping you to grow your business and retain customers. Next, we'll look at KPIs. So KPI simply means key performance indicator. Key performance indicator. So KPIs are data points you use to measure progress. These metrics are typically performance based and they are quantifiable. So, for example, if you are so KPI in business, if you're running a business, you must have KPI. You must be able to measure your what is happening in your business. Are you increasing? Are you decreasing? Are you making profits? Are you? So you need to measure everything in your business. But for restaurant business, some of the KPIs you may want to look into would be your sales or revenue, total reservations. How many people are making reservation, number of takeouts, or delivery orders, your social media following, website visits, email opening rates. No, so as a restaurant brand, you need to sit down with your team and map out, key performance indicator for every area of your brand. From marketing to sales to technology to operations to customer support, and sit down and map out all these performance and begin to measure it on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. The next thing we'll look at is tools. So it's important to talk about strategy, but you should also understand some of the tools that would aid you, especially in this digital world. So one, social media. If you are a restaurant brand and you are not on social media at this point in time, I wonder what you're really doing. Then we have email marketing. You should have an email as a restaurant brand. Website. Do you have a website? These days, it's almost free to open a website. Gone are the days where you need to spend, hundred of thousands just to create a website. You know, with tools such as WordPress, Wix, you can easily create a website, with and by spending very little. So it's not an excuse. Then promotions, loyalty program, online ordering. So all this should form part of your overall marketing strategy. So you must sit down with yourself or your team, and begin to map out all these the essential tools, digital tools that you need to grow as a restaurant business. See, the truth is that what separates you from restaurant A or from restaurant B might just be very simple. So above all, your marketing plan needs to be realistic. If you're a small team with a small budget, your plan should reflect your limited budget. Like I said, don't be afraid to launch your effort in stages or to outsource some tasks to experts. Next, let's look at budget. Before you can launch your strategy, you need to know how much you're going to spend. So this is very, very important. According to the Business Association, ideally you should allocate between 7 to 8% of your revenue to marketing. So that is the ideal situation. You cannot expect to grow your restaurant business, without spending money. So as you are making some money, allocate some budget for marketing. All right. So as you can see here, the money should be split between brand development and promotion. That's advertising. So we've just completed the first aspect of today's webinar, and in those slides, I discuss how you can develop an effective strategy for your restaurant business. Starting for the first principle, I said you need to define your target audience. So know who your ideal customers are. If you know who your ideal customers are, you know the right message to pass to them. You know how to develop a brand identity that relates to them. You know the right communication to give out. The next we looked at defining your SWOT. So you know your strengths, your weakness, opportunity, and strength. Then I also discussed tools that you need to use, from social media to promotion to emails to websites. So these are essential tools you need to have as a business or a restaurant owner. Then I talked about differentiation. Know what exactly differentiates you from your competitor. So sit down with your team, and begin to map out, what are the key areas you feel you do best. So in the next session, I'm going to talk about social media campaign. Like I said, if you own a restaurant business and you don't have a social media strategy, or you're not even on social media, um, I really wonder what kind of business you're running. To be honest, because at the moment now, everybody is on social media, so you need to meet them where they are. That is where your customers are, and you need to meet them where they are. So in this next session, I'll show you some important strategy that you need to know. But key thing you need to know here is that the social media marketing strategy is usually developed from your overall marketing strategy. So if you know how to develop a marketing, then you can, you know, create effective social media strategy. So I'm going to just list some of these tactics that you need to know. So the first thing here is why do you need social media marketing? So one, you need it to increase brand awareness. If you look at Facebook alone, Facebook has over three almost 3 billion people on its platform. If you compare it to the population of the world, that is more than one third of the world population on Facebook. And that is just Facebook alone. We have other platforms such as Twitter, such as LinkedIn, where people, are, doing a lot of stuff. So being on social media is a very great platform for you to grow your business, because by being on social media, the amount you spend trying to build brand awareness, is far less, than when you don't have a social media presence. So basically, what I'm saying here is that you can reach more people for less, with social media. I know, a particular restaurant, just a small business, that leverages social media effectively, and this person makes over £1 million, every month from social media, for our restaurant business, by being, very active, posting consistently, running campaigns, you know, basically talking to her customers on social media. She gets a lot of orders. So two, you need social media to build engaged communities. You need social media to sell your product and your services. With social media, you can measure how people feel about your business. So if you're on social media, a lot of people would send some comments to you, they'll leave some review, they'll send it for some DM. So with that, you can actually know, how people feel about your business. Also, you can also provide customer service on social media platform. These days, a lot of big brands actually run their customer service on social media, from Twitter to Instagram. They are leveraging social media to talk to their users. Also, you can advertise your product or service to your target audience. When we are talking about our marketing strategy, I talked about how you can develop it. And I mentioned that you need to know your ideal customers. Now, the beauty about social media is you can actually target the right audience on social media. If you know how to use digital advertising platforms, so you can reach out to your target audience. So if you're looking, if your restaurant business, is targeted toward young people, you can target them there. If it's targeted towards people, you know, at the mid level of their career, you find them there. So whatever interest, that you're trying to reach out to, you can find it on social media. Then with social media, you can track performance and adjust your strategy accordingly. So in this next session, I'm going to show you the strategy that you can, how to develop the strategy. So the first thing here is you need to choose the social media goals that align to your business objective. So, for example, if you're a restaurant owner and your goal is to build brand awareness, that is your goal as a business or your objective. Then you need to then sit down and say, how can social media marketing help my business? What are the goals on social media I need to develop to build my brand awareness as a restaurant business. So map out these goals and align it with your business objective. The second strategy here for social media will you need to learn everything you can about your audience. The good thing is that with digital, you can know the kind of audience you're interacting with. If you use platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, this platform can tell you, the kind of people, who are interacting with your business. You can see their interest, you can see their demography, you can see, very important data about them. Three, get to know your competition. I discussed this when we're looking at market strategy. Then set up your account and improve your profile. I see a lot of restaurant owners, with a very poor optimized profile. There's no contact page on their profile, no email, and there's no link to probably to make orders. Very very scant information. And you want to do business. So you begin to wonder what exactly they are doing on social media. So set up your account and set up your profile correctly. Put the right image, put the right logo, add all your contact details, add important links to your business. So all these things are very critical. Look for inspiration. Create a social media calendar. What exactly is a social media calendar? So basically, this is a calendar on the different content that you will be posting on your account. So, for example, you can create a 1 month calendar. So, on each day, this is what I want to post. So sit down, map it out, and develop this calendar. It's a very, very important tool, because if you don't have a calendar, it will be very difficult to manage your accounts. And for example, if you run the business alone, and you don't have your content calendar well spelled out, you see that it will become very difficult because you have so many things to manage. You are dealing with operation, you are dealing with staff, you are running sales, you are running marketing. So you need to be organized. So developing a calendar, social media calendar, will go a long way in making everything very easy and seamless for you. Then I said you need to know how to develop content. If you're not a good content developer, you can outsource it. Hire someone, pay them to manage your accounts or to write articles, to post, on your account. Then the last thing here, you can track performance and adjust your strategy accordingly. Next, I'm going to explore ideas. Now, there are so many ideas that you can use on social media, but I'll just look at a few of them and we'll see how we can use them. At the end of this lesson, you begin to have, you know, information, ideas. You start coming up with different ideas that you can use, on your accounts to grow your business. So the first idea is contest. Contests are very powerful if you're trying to build engagement with your fans. So, like I said, running restaurant contests is a great way to show your customers some love. So, this is a very great idea. There are so many contests you can create. So, for example, you can create a video and tell your fans or your followers to share it, to share it and win a prize. And so that is a contest. You can create a contest. Tell them to upload images of them probably making some food, and you give out interesting prizes. So sit down and create a different contest idea. It's shareable, your followers will love it, and you can grow your brand on social media. Another idea, social media idea you can incorporate is learn how to leverage holidays, to run promotion. You know, so whether it's a Christmas or Easter or the Muslim, so these are important things that you can use to drive very powerful promotion. So sit down with your team, craft out your message, and run promotion, because at this period people are more um, they are more aligned in wanting to do business with you. So it's a very fantastic opportunity during this period. The next idea, social media idea you can use is you can go live with a blogger or an influencer. If you can see my screen here, you see this is Jeff Chi. Many of us know her. If you have the budget, you can partner with her. Probably to cost you maybe 30 million. If you have the money, you can go for it. Partner with an influencer. It can take your brand a very very you know a very very long way. So there are so many influencers you can partner with. Sit down and look for the one that resonates with your brand. And you can do a lot of cool marketing campaigns. The next idea is to give giveaways. Don Jazzy is one of the artists that leverages a lot, to grow his fan base. So as a restaurant owner, you can also do giveaway. It doesn't have to be much, but they said giving is good. The more you give, the more you're able to attract people to your business. So you can create a lot of contests, a lot of campaigns, around giveaways. All right, we've just come to the third session of our discussion on the marketing strategy, creating effective marketing strategy for your business. Before I go on to this section, I want to know if there's any question or there's something you need clarity on, so that it doesn't seem like I'm the only one talking. Okay? Do you have any questions so far? Or you can put it down in the comment section if.
Mention of a lady who runs a restaurant on Instagram or purely off Instagram, and she's making millions with it and all that. I think you should share her handle with us so we can just, uh, borrow a few things from her marketing strategy, her content strategy, something like
Okay,
that.
okay. Yeah, sure. Fantastic. Fantastic. I would share that with you. Yeah, but
And also, if you also know other good brands that we could
mm,
learn from, because
okay.
sometimes there's the classes and then there's the practical aspect. So if we can see things that others are doing that you think works or
Mm,
you know works, I think that would help. So if there are other brands too that have good marketing practices that
yeah,
you can share, just share their handles with us. Shut up, I'm in a meeting. And share their
mm,
handles with us and let us see what they're doing. Sorry about
great.
interruption.
No problem. Great, 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 great. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, no problem. We'll share that with you, so that you can look at it and help you, craft your own strategy. Okay. If there are no other questions, I would just proceed. All right. So we are going to what we call local SEO. How to prioritize local SEO for reputation building, foot traffic, and increase order. So what exactly is SEO? SEO is simply search engine optimization. What is local SEO? So basically, when we say local SEO, you are trying to make your brand um, easy to discover on search engine. So when people go on the internet and they look for information, will they find your brand? So knowledge of local SEO will help place your brand, in a prominent page on the internet. So, for example, if we go to Google, for example, and we search for maybe restaurants, a restaurant in Lekki, if if you run a restaurant brand in Lekki and your restaurant doesn't show up here, it means you have a serious work to do. It means you are not optimizing local SEO. As you can see here, if I want to do business, these are the first set of people I might reach out to. Then probably I might click more to see other other brands. So you can see the brand here. You see the reviews, other information about their business. You know, you can see all the restaurant brand. So if you come to the map as well, you can also easily see their location. So this is what we call a local SEO. Being discoverable, within a particular area. For example, maybe you have a restaurant in, let's say, Ogba in Lagos. I'm sorry, I stay in Lagos, so I'll be using a lot of locations in Lagos. For example, your restaurant is in Ogba. Your restaurant should be, among those restaurants indexed here. If it's not indexed here, then you have a real problem because you'll be losing a lot of potential orders, potential store traffic that should come to your business. As you can see here, these people here are not paying any, they're not paying one kobo for all this. It's just free traffic. So someone who does not know this now, you know, eventually will be losing out. Because these people, are leveraging technology, digital know-how to grow their business. So in this lesson, we'll look at local SEO, how you can integrate it into your marketing, and I will show you a practical demonstration. So let's look at the local SEO guide for restaurant owner. One, you need to have consistent business name, address, and phone number across the internet. So if you're a restaurant owner, all your key information, business name, address has to be consistent. When I mean consistent, it has to be consistent on your social media account. If you have a Facebook account, a LinkedIn account, Twitter, Instagram, this data has to be consistent. You should not have a phone number here on Facebook, then another phone number on Instagram. Or you have a particular address on Instagram, you have a particular another address on your website. So everything has to be consistent. So when you start having issues like that, it will be very difficult, for your business to feature on Google or other search engines. Then two, you need to be able to optimize your title tags and meta description. What do I mean by this? I will show you. So if I scroll down here, let me look for a particular restaurant. Okay, so this is a restaurant. This is the place. The place is a very popular restaurant um, in Lagos. The first information you see here is their URL or the link. Then the next information here is called, they call it the title tag. Then the next information below in gray color, they call it the meta description. So don't let it sound too Greek. The first information here, is the title tag. The next one is what they call the meta description. So when you are, if you know how to build a website, or you have contracted your website out, make sure that the title you use is something that people can easily discover. Do not do something that people find it difficult locating or identifying on the web. Also, when you are creating your meta description, that is this copy here, make sure that it is something that will make people want to click on it. So as you can see here, for example, you can say made to order, swift speed of service, freshly prepared tasty meals, served to your specification and dining pleasure. So if you see this kind of copy, you are moved to, want to click it and check up, what that business is doing. So if you don't know much about web development, you know, when you're developing a website, please tell the person developing your website to make sure that the title you use, is probably your business name. You know, then the next information that follows, should be, so in this case, you may even be the one to write it up. So look for something that can drive people to click, on that particular website. So next, optimize your title tags and meta description to fit your business and what people are searching for. Next, you want to create a Google My Business listing. I'm going to show you how to do that, in today's lecture. Then the last thing is you need to get your restaurant on all necessary directories. So there are several directories. Most of them are free. That you can easily list easily list your restaurant. Some of them include, you can list your restaurant on Google. I'm going to show you how to do that. You can list it on business by creating a Facebook business page. You can list it for free on platforms such as VConnect, Business List, Finlib, and there's even a one that is particularly for restaurants, Rasta Vista. So you can list it there. So after the end of this lecture, I'm going to send you list of directories, websites, that you can list your restaurant or probably other business, so that you can be found easily on the web. People can discover you. So I'm going to send this to you at the end of this lecture. The next thing we're going to look at is I'm going to show you how you can easily create a list your business on Google. Now, was it last week? A particular restaurant called me, and said that someone is using restaurant business for scam. So what the scammer did here is that the scammer went to create a Google My Business listing for that restaurant, then puts his own email and phone number. So when someone searches for that particular restaurant, it is that person's listing that shows. So what the person did is he created a listing for that business, that woman's business. But instead of putting the restaurant's phone number and email and contact, the scammer puts his own email and contact number. So when people go, on the web, on Google, for example, and search for that restaurant, the person's restaurant will show up here. When they click it, it will bring out the contact details. And so this guy has been doing this to scam a lot of people. So when people make requests and they make payments, they discover that they have been scammed and they weren't interacting with the right business. Now, this was possible because that restaurant have not leveraged Google My Business to list their business on Google. So the scammers are taking advantage of this, to scam people. So as a business owner or restaurant owner, it's important that your business, or your restaurant is listed. It's not just enough to own a website, or to have your business on your social media account, Facebook, Instagram. You should or you must list it on Google. Just by the mere fact that Google is actually the biggest search engine. So I'll just show you how you can do this. It's quite simple. If you have a business or you have a restaurant, you can do this. So let me know if you can see my screen. All right, before I go on, let me just know if you can see my screen. All right, great, great, great. All right, so I'm going to show you how you can list your restaurant or any other business as a matter of a matter of fact on Google. So you will need to have signed into Google. So in this case, I have already signed in. So this is my account. So what you need to do is you need to click on these dotted icons. So click on it, then go to my business. So click on my business. It will take you to Google My Business. As you can see here, these are a number of business I've listed on Google. So now you want to add a new business on Google. You come here, then you can add a new business. So click on add a new business. Then you want to give your business a name. So for example, let me name this King Restaurant. So next, you want to you want to add a category. So what category is this business you want to list? Is a restaurant? Then you just click next. Do you have a location? In this case, let me put no. If you have a location, then you put location. Okay, so it requires me to put a location. Okay, so I put. So the next thing it asks for your address. So I'm in Nigeria. I put my location. I put my state. Let me quickly get that. Okay, so let me. Mm, mm, all of you. Okay, so Google is having issues with my postal code. So I'll just continue. Okay, next it says where are you located? So this is just for demonstration. So I'll just pick anyone. So you can zoom in and next, do you provide deliveries or home service? Yes. Areas you serve. Next, you add your contact information. Let me add this. Then I add phone number. So once you do that, the next thing is to verify your business. So um, the way Google does this is that they send a code to your location. So in this case, I've verified my business. So you can see how easy it is for anybody to claim, any business, on Google. So it's very, very important that you list your business on Google so that people can find you, people can easily contact you. All right, so we've come to the last session of today's lecture, and the final one is we're going to look at how you can enable mobile ordering, to drive sales. I don't know, is Chidima still on this call?
Yeah, I'm here,
All right,
of
Chidima.
course.
All right, good, good. All right, so we've come to the concluding part of our lecture for today. In this lecture, we looked at how you can create marketing strategy for your restaurant. I then listed all the strategy you need to create, from your target audience to differentiation, to leveraging digital tools, SWOT analysis, and budgeting. Then we looked at social media strategy. We listed the essential strategy you need to do. Then we looked at some interesting and ideas you can use on social media. And lastly, we looked at local SEO. And I said it's important that you make sure that your business is easily discoverable on the internet. By listing it on different directories, or particularly listing it on Google. And I practically demonstrated this. It's very easy. So with this strategy now, you should be able to, you know, sit down, and craft, very, very powerful strategy for your restaurant. So Chidima, within 5 minutes, can you just explain how they can use WaveMenu to create their online menus and do interesting stuff? Then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. All right, guys. So Wave Menu is one of our products. Like I earlier said when I was doing the introduction, um, this webinar is powered by Wave Software. And I said we're a software company that what we do, we specialize in creating innovative solutions for businesses in the hospitality industry. One of our products is called Wave Menu. Wave Menu is an online ordering platform. So with Wave Menu, what you basically get is we practically create an ordering website for you, your personalized ordering website. It's pretty easy to set up and it has amazing features. We'll just quickly look through all the features of Wave Menu, right? So with Wave Menu, you can manage your staffs. You can schedule your staffs to do whatever it is you want them to do, all online. You don't need to be at the office to do that. You can do that from the comfort of your home, from the comfort of, you can be on the road, you can be in another business and you're managing your restaurant on your mobile device. That's what this platform does for you. You can the way the scheduling works, it's pretty amazing. Let's not go into detail because I have just 5 minutes. So it's basically getting your staffs to assigning tasks to your staffs, so you know who is doing what, you know who to hold responsible when something is not done correctly. That's what the scheduling is all about. Your staffs can clock in when they get to work, they can clock out at the close of work. With the scheduling feature, you can do all of that. So quickly, we'll go to the next feature on Wave Menu, which is the coupon management. So with Wave Menu, you can create your own personalized coupon for your restaurant. Say Chima, you have a restaurant, you can decide to offer 20% discount to all your first time customers. You can do that on Wave Menu. All you need to do is just punch in the code, set up a coupon, code, with the whole settings. Everything is there, but with this platform, you can set up your own coupon code and attract new customers. You can give discounts to your new customers, give discounts to returning customers, just to increase your sales and, of course, attract new customers. Yeah. So we'll go to the next feature. The next feature is payroll. So I think one of the most difficult part of any business is payment. Yeah, it requires a lot of nobody likes to stand in the bank in the long queue of the bank and wait for hours. With Wave Menu, your account department, you as a manager, if you're managing your business alone, you don't need to queue at the bank. You just need to, with your device, all you need to do is, once you've entered your staff information on the platform, at the end of the month, you just schedule their payment. Once it's time to pay, if you pay on the last day of the month, their monies go into their account directly without lifting a finger. This is a deal breaker. It just makes everything easy for you. It makes managing your restaurant more effective for you, right? So that's what the payroll feature does for you. It helps you to pay your staffs without going to the bank. The next feature is email automation. So I'm going to take email automation and loyalty program together because they're all under the marketing feature. So the email automation helps you to schedule emails for your restaurant. When Cheyi was mentioning some of the social media tools that we need to use, he mentioned emailing. Email marketing is traditional, but it's still something that a lot of businesses use today to keep their customers abreast of what is happening in their business. Tell them you have a new discount, a new promo you're running. You use your emailing tool to spread the news. Tell your customers, oh, we have something new, we have a new meal added to our menu, we have a new location. It helps you to discover more effective ways to increase customer engagement. You can do that with your email automation too. Then I said I was also going to take the loyalty program together with this. So with the loyalty program, you just reward loyal customers, just as the name implies. Loyalty program. It helps you to create a program that helps you to reward your loyal customers, your returning customers, people who have been purchasing products for you from the beginning of the year. You could decide to do something for them. You could decide to create probably a card for them, a VIP card for them that helps them to keep getting promos and helps them to keep getting access to some of your products for being loyal staff. So with Wave Menu, you can create a loyalty program that would help you to keep your customers satisfied. Yeah, all of that you can see at in with on Wave Menu rather. So the next feature, manage menu. I think this is the most important. Yeah, one of the most difficult thing most restaurants that are going online face is managing their menu, because you have orders coming from what's it called, coming from Facebook, you have others coming from Instagram, you have others coming from WhatsApp. You have all of these orders coming in at the same time. It's easy to miss out on any of this order. But with Wave Menu, you have everything. It's more like you have a centralized place where you can create your menu and you can manage orders, manage payments. I'm taking like two together. I'm taking manage menu, manage orders together now. So with Wave Menu, you can manage your menus. You can disable any item that is not available. If by 12 noon you notice that a particular meal is out of stock, you can quickly go on your platform and disable it, enable it when it's back in stock. So you don't need to keep selling items that are not available. That way, your customers stay satisfied. So each time they place an order, they know that that order is available at the restaurant because you're doing your back end job very well. And for the order management feature, it helps you to manage your order, like I've mentioned. Instead of having orders coming from all of these platforms separately, you have a centralized place where you receive all your orders. With your Wave Menu dashboard, you see every order that is coming in, but the ones that are being pre-scheduled for a future date, the ones that are being ordered, those that want to have taken, those that want the meals delivered to them. You have everything on Wave Menu. There's one more important feature. I think that's about the second to the last, the QR code. So with the QR code feature, you are able to create a code that your customers can scan. Now, this supports the contactless ordering that came with the COVID. When the COVID came, with the emergence of the COVID, right, a lot of restaurants had to start shifting to contactless ordering. So instead of having your waiters come with those order cards, so you have these barcodes that are being placed on each table, right? And every customer that comes into your restaurant can just scan the barcode, order what they want to have, and then someone at the kitchen receive the order and get their meals sent to them or brought to their tables. So it supports the contactless policy. So if you have a physical restaurant, you can create a QR code for your restaurant. Even if you don't have a physical restaurant, for your virtual restaurant, you can create a QR code, paste it on your WhatsApp status, on your Instagram stories, on your Facebook stories, have your customers scan those barcodes, and while they scan it, they're able to place their orders for whatever it is that they want. And last but not the least, with Wave Menu, you can do a business analysis. You can see how well your business is doing. You can have insight into how much profit you've been able to make within a certain period of time. You're able to see how much orders you have. You're able to see which locations are giving you the most sales. Like all of that just helps you to strategize well. It helps you to, go back with your team. When you look at all these analysis, you're able to say, oh, okay, I think we should focus more on this particular meal. It's giving us more sales, or focus more on this particular thing. You're even able to see which of your discounts or promos or loyalty programs brought in more sales. You're able to have an analysis of your business using the Wave Menu platform. Like it's called the ultimate restaurant management software. With Wave Menu, you have everything you need just with your mobile device or with your laptop or whatever device you're using. You don't need to be physically present. Using Wave Menu positions you to be a smart restaurant. It positions your restaurant for effective productivity and to get more sales. Yeah, I think I should wrap it up there. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much,
much,
Chidima,
Ijima,
for
for
the
the
Yeah, you're welcome.
brilliant
brilliant
introduction of
introduction of
Wave Menu.
WaiveMenu.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
today
today
has been
has
really
been really
interesting.
interesting.
Um,
Um,
we
we
effectively
effectively
looked
looked
at
at
packaging
packaging
strategies for
strategies for
restaurant.
restaurant.
And
And
before we
before
go,
we
I
go,
would
I
like
would
to
like to
know
know
how many
how many
restaurant
restaurant
owners we
owners we
have
have
here.
here.
The
The
last
last
person that
person
spoke
that spoke
said he
said
was
he was
running,
running.
he wants
He
to
wants
learn
to
about
learn about
strategies
strategies
for his
for his
business, but
business,
not
but not
necessarily
necessarily
restaurant.
restaurant.
So
So
let me know
let me know
if
if
you
you
operate a
operate a
restaurant.
restaurant.
Just
Just
wave your
wave your
hands
hands
so I can
so I
see
can see
Chima
Chima
and
and
Ronke or
Ronke or
Para.
Para.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
that's
fine.
fine.
So
So
for
for
everyone
everyone
who
who
registered
registered
for
for
this
this
lecture,
lecture,
those
those
who
who
came and
came and
those
those
who are
who are
present,
present,
we can give you
we'll
a
give you
free
a free
trial,
trial,
14 days
14
free
days free
trial.
trial.
So
So
head on
head on
to
to
www.wavemenu.com
www.wavemenu.com
and then
and
you
then
can
you can
sign up
sign
for
up for
free
free
for
for
14
14
days.
days.
So you can
You
try
can
that
try that
system
system
and
and
you can
you can
subscribe.
subscribe.
WaveMenu, like I
WaveMenu, like
said,
I said,
is
is
a
a
very
very
powerful
powerful
tool
tool
for
for
managing
managing
your
your
restaurant.
restaurant.
All right.
All right.
So, do we
So do
have
we have
any
any
last
last
minute
minute
question
question
before we
before
wrap
we
it
wrap
up?
it up?
Okay, so
Okay, so
we'll make
we'll make this
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 webinar
webinar
available to
available to
everybody.
everybody.
We're going to
We're going
send
to
a
send a
mail to
mail to
you
you
containing a
containing
link
a
to
link
this
to this
webinar, so
webinar,
you
so
can
you can
always watch
always watch
it
it
later,
later,
and
and
get
get
all the
all the
information
information
you missed during
you
this
missed during this
webinar. So
webinar.
that's we're going to send to everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and we hope to see you in our next webinar.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shay.
Thank you very much, Chidima.
Okay, so before you end, Chima, Runke, you don't have any questions before Shay goes?
I don't have any questions for now, but I think I
Okay.
still have access to the Instagram account, so I would always ask if something
Yeah.
comes up eventually.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay. No problem. That's fine. All right. Ronke, do you have questions before we leave? All right, I guess not. So, Shay, thank you very much for your time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming once again. And we hope to see you in our next webinar. And we hope to see your restaurants or your businesses thrive.